Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. Last episode's idea of how to harvest the ice here, it's not failed, but it is not really practical. So that's something that I might have to think about more about. But the only thing that I could do is add more and more of these links, and at one point maybe the game would not be happy with that. So I had an idea for another solution, and I talked about this before, where I said that maybe something on a rail would be good, or on a rail is maybe the wrong word. We take a look at this. So I made this protrusion here, and out comes this. I kind of didn't hold back and just built what I had to build here. The thing with it is that this is something that I usually don't do, and that was to me completely new. Other people I know did that all and had a lot of success with it. I did my best to recreate that. It's not automatic yet. That is something, don't know, that we might look in the future for. So what I have here is a way to basically have this slide, whatever we want to call it, move over these conveyors, and in the process take these drills with it and hopefully shave off the top layer of the ice here. And I retracted the drills a bit so they don't get too much stone. It could be that we end up with stone. Dilettante, or Alfred Dumas, had the idea why I don't just use the drill and fill system. It would be easier, and he's right about that. That's the thing. I could use the drill and fill system to just gather the ice. I wanted to try a bit of a different thing and test out something that I haven't done yet. I haven't built one of these things yet. If we can get it to automate at one point, that would even be cooler. I would really like that. We will have to see how that works out, because again, I absolutely don't know how this works out. One thing that I hopefully got to work is the projection system that just projects the track in front of the whole thing, so this thing can continue for a long time. I don't know for how long I really want to do that. What we could do at one point is move the whole thing over to a different track and then continue there or something like that. But for now we can just go with this thing and then just don't know, have it go out a few 100 meters. That would be at least cool for now. I tested it for just a meter or so. We will go and do some more work with it. So you can see what I have done here is I have set up some rotors that sit up on top of these pillars here, and these are connected to pistons, and in the middle of the pistons there is the conveyor that holds on to the drill rig, basically. I tested it out with merge blocks and connectors and all that stuff. Merge blocks didn't work because this whole thing has a bit of a bow to it, and then the merge blocks don't. They basically bump into each other and then are not able to move anymore. One trouble that I have if you want to build something like that too is the rotor heads and the rotors. If they are not in the right setup, sometimes the machine tends to just turn. These are rotor locked and all that stuff. It's while attaching, the whole machine just turns 90 degrees, rips apart, or turns 45 degrees, stays together, something like that. It's a bit weird. Rotors are really maybe not the right solution here, but again, merge blocks weren't possible without more fiddling, because again, the whole thing just bowed enough so that the merge block would bump into each other, and I wasn't able to just push the merge block over the other one to be able to reconnect. So what I did basically is merge this all together. This is basically where I took the rotor, attached the head, put a conveyor to the head, rotor lock this thing, and then merged the first things just into the track. It's a bit weird, but makes sense because I want the rotor heads in the right orientation. And with this, I'm able to keep the hopefully the orientation for the rotors and all that stuff in the right way, so that down the track I don't end up with this thing completely twisted away. What we will test is the pushing motion, and then we will test the track building, if it is possible to push the whole thing forward while hopefully this newly built projector will hopefully keep the projection going. So it is set up, this projector should be set up to just project itself again in front of it. Hope that works. Never done this really. First for me. I know there's a lot of people out there that have done that, but most of the time I'm trying to just have a concept in my mind that I saw somewhere, but not take too close of a look at what other people have done, because I want to figure it out myself. So what we need to do is we need to detach this head, and you can see that this is now free. This can now move. This is keeping it all together. So what we do now, and you can see that these are set up in a specific way where they basically reach to here, and then if this one pulls to the front, it will reach here and can be connected to this, and so on and so on. There's other ways of doing this, I know. We will have to see. Okay, I have a seat here. On top of that, we turn on the drills. Hopefully, again, this works out. I tested just a few centimeters basically and didn't too much work. These are set up to really slow speeds. It is not 0.1 or 0.1, it's 0.05, but the game is just showing up as this. Give me a sec to start this. Now this whole thing should push forward very, very slowly, and in that it should hopefully gather the ice once it reaches the point where where I drilled towards to kind of. The thing is, with the conveyors, it should or it automatically lands in the station. And with this method, I'm getting a lot of ice really quickly, and that's kind of what I needed, because I'm running out of ice so fast. The containers and the tanks are a quarter full, or the tanks are a quarter full or something like that. It's just ridiculous how much ice I can use up to make hydrogen out of it and all that stuff. So this moves, and I'm gathering stone too. I would have to pull that in again. We will leave it the way it is right now, and the ice or the stone should be processed by the truck. I will just leave it now. Maybe we'll pull it back a bit once we come to a stop again. But for now, I can really use the ice. We have 19, I think, drills on each side. This is set up so that at one point I can bring it, I can bring it up now to not have the ice or the stone gathered too much. But what I can also do is bring it down a bit. So after a while, the curve of the planet will make it so that I'm gathering less ice. And then I maybe want to just bring down the pistons a bit so the drills get in contact again. What we can do now is turn this build and repair system back on. And we can see that it hopefully builds up the track. And also what we can see is if it projects the next part of the track in front of itself. That was the idea, so at least I don't have to build the track by hand. I might end up with... Ooh. It is building the track. The thing is, it seems that the build and repair system is relatively slow. But that might have to be, it might be because it can just build one block after the other. So this seems to work out. And again, I want to see what happens once this projector is built. If it keeps the projection, that is my main concern, that it hopefully brings just the projection that I have here now to the front again, and then we just continue the track building. So is this at full extent now? This is fully extended. What we do now is we extend the first one. We can do that at the same time. I just wanted to have it done independently for now, because then we attach this front rotor to here, and then detach this one, then basically pull the slide along again, just so that it keeps on going. And if this whole system here works, I hopefully again should be able to just have more and more track going, and then I maybe can think about automating this. Not that I know how to do this, but that's one thing we could try if we can set it to maybe don't know, just I don't know, maybe a timer that locks and unlocks these, and then just starts pulling these along, reversing these when needed. I don't know how that would be done. I would have to take a look at this. The danger with this is that I don't have a ship here that can lift this thing back up again. Because with a lifter, we could just pull this thing off, and if it ever disconnects or connects at a point where we don't want it to disconnect or connect, then we could just put it back where it belongs. But here for now, this is not possible. Okay, I've put the batteries on here because of the blueprint that I took, so that I have power on that thing, but I maybe could have just left this alone. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. That's how I wanted this to be, so that it basically just continues. These pillars go deeper into the ground than it seems to be. They are 4 blocks long, so that if ever the curve, I don't know, I don't want to build it that long, but if ever the curve brings the things up, we don't end up with blocks not connected to the ground. So nice. How could I set this up? Maybe closest first. It builds the nearest now, or maybe we can go to nearest first, so that it wells up all the stuff that is close to it instead of all the stuff that is far away from it. So this works. So this arrived where it is supposed to be. Attach the head. Now we can detach this head. And then just start reversing this again. It should be relatively easy by just telling the things to attach, detach, and then reverse. Reverse the pistons. This works out nicely. See, that is what I wanted to have done. And if I ever want, I can maybe pull this whole thing back, put more pistons on, more drills on it. That's also an option that we have with this. It's not really stable because of the pistons in there, but for now it's doing a great job, and I hope it doesn't grab too much stone. Oh, I need to load my energy. Ooh, I'm happy with this. The interesting thing will be once we reach the front there, because then we run into the new rotor heads, and maybe then things happen, because the last 3, the ones we're using now, I tested out. I tested if the thing will move there, but I hope that the orientation of the rotor heads still works, and we still end up with this thing not shearing itself apart. Good. This is effective. This is really effective. Let us see how much we get from that inventory. Nice. O2 gens are not full, but are at a point where I have a lot of stuff in there. It doesn't store anything right now because these run out. But at least I have continuous input. That's a good thing. Ah, I like it. See, this is more what I had in mind with this thing. With this thing, I wanted to be really careful with the rover, but with this thing, I don't need to be too careful. I just want to shave the top layer off and bring the ice in. Come on. It is shaking like crazy, but works out, works out. And with having the built-in repair being transported with the whole thing, usually you would do that with, for example, with welders. You would have some welders attached that just weld everything in front of it. So while it is moving, it welds itself up. And I just replaced that with the built-in repair system. It is basically the same thing in green. So having that move with that thing, yeah, makes it just possible to weld everything up in front while it moves. And we can just attach this now. Detach this. And then just continue the cycle. Can I just have... Give me a sec. Can I just have a slide? I called it slide, I think. Slide and then piston. You just slide piston. If I just tell this now to... If I tell this now to just... If I just tell this to reverse now. Will both at the same time do what they are supposed to do? And is that maybe... No, it can't be too fast. So I was worried about this being too fast, but the thing is that this thing is not doing anything. It is this thing pushing, and in the next move it will be the other one pulling, so they always have the same speed. That's good. This is planed really nicely. That's a flat surface if I have ever seen one. Good. So, I will keep pushing into the next area, and then we will see if this connection works out nicely without it just flipping. The moment of truth arrived now, because let us see if we attach this. It did attach without problems, so let's detach this. Hopefully this works. I just, by the way, tested it out if there's a way to just make the attaching and detaching work any easier. Make it work any easier. The thing is that for this I would have to set up timer blocks or something like that, because it basically, there's no way to, for example, for landing gears there's a switch lock option. There is no switch attach detach thing, so you can attach or detach. And otherwise I would have, for example, made a group and then just said at the same time one attaches, the other detaches, so switch the whole thing around. Doesn't work here. So for that I will have to set up definitely timer blocks that just say the one attaches front, detaches back, the other attaches back, detaches front, so that I can switch that around with maybe a thing. Because here for the pistons a group is all I need. So if I have a timer block that controls this, for example, I could just set up have a group, or I have a group now, and I could just tell this group to reverse, and then the front one shrinks, the back one shrinks, and then the other way around once it arrives where it needs to arrive. But this way now I can just press a button in the cockpit, also attach one, detach one, the other, and then switch the group for the pistons. This works out remarkably well. I'm really happy with this. It's yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It doesn't mess up the voxels too much. This looks relatively neat and clean. I'm really happy about this. And it seems that I have a lot of ice now. I hope. See, this one stores some now. That should be an indication that we are running really well now. Oh, see, there's a bit of stone coming in, but it is not too much. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we are cooking with gas here. That works out remarkably well. And we can do the next step in just a few seconds. That's nice. And it already worked. See, this projector already projects the next part. This works out fine. If we can now automate this, that would be amazing. Okay, I need maybe 2 timers. I want to attach and detach with a bit of delay in between, because otherwise I risk that one is attached, one is detached at points where we don't want this. Let me do some more work. Maybe I can figure out something for attaching, detaching, something like that. We will see. This is making fine progress, I say. I'm running into a few issues that I have to solve somehow, and I might do that with a script. Automating this will be problematic for me now, because I have to kind of get into the mindset how to do this. So one script that I might need is something that says, or that gives the assemblers and the build and repair system, and I know it exists, I just don't have it right now, the ability to exchange data. So that basically the build and repair says, I need these materials, please produce that for me. Because at the moment I have to order everything by hand. This thing will not be built automatically, let's say it that way. The next thing that I might need is an assembler here. I didn't want to have one here, but I might need one here to have the ability to produce stuff, and maybe even a refinery, because the thing is that the truck will not always be here. I could have it in a way where it only works when the truck is here, and that's why automating it is kind of useless. Automating it is useless anyways, as long as I'm not here, because at one point everything is full and then I don't know where the ice is going anymore. Ugh, I don't want to do that. But you can see I have set up some timers that at least I can automate some of the steps. And the first thing I did is automate the attach and detach process. So now I know, and that is the next thing I'm running into. I need to know, when is this thing attached? When is this thing attached? And not by going to it and saying, okay, yeah, this is This is attached at the moment, so this must be detached. I need a surefire way to say that from here, to look at it and say, okay, this one is attached, this one is detached. That is something I need to figure out. But what I did is set some timers up. So this timer is, and I named them, wrong. I need to. So this is for the back rotor to be attached. This is for the front rotor to be attached. This is for the back rotor to be detached, and this is for the back rotor, the front rotor to be detached. So when this for the front rotor gets triggered, then it detaches or attaches the front rotor, and then it starts this timer that has a 2-second delay that then detaches the back rotor, and the other way around too. So if back attach, then front detach, and then the detach timers up here start the one in the middle. That is just the piston reverse rotor. So when I start it up, it just reverses the rotor. So we want the back one to be attached, the front one to be detached. So we start up this timer. This is the back attach. Trigger now. So now this thing should run, and it should be so fast that I don't even see it. So this one is attached now, this one is detached, the pistons move. So that is our first bit of automation. But for that I still need to know where and when is everything attached and detached. So this will be a bit to figure out. I need a way to see that. Maybe I can have other timers that switch lamps or lights or something like that. Maybe there's a way to... Is there a way with sensors maybe? I'm not sure. We will have to see how that works out. This is a different grid, so maybe I can set it up to detect subgrids. If it just detects below, and as long as it, I'm not sure if that would work. We will have to see if that would work. But you can see this works now and is reasonably automatic. So once this arrives here, I can press the other timer basically, and then the whole thing moves forward again. I really like it. I really like it. So once I'm pretty sure once this arrives, we will I will stop the drills for now and see what else it does. I've set up the assembler in the truck now to just assemble as much of everything as we need for maybe a few more blocks. Okay, see, we are close to 2 million liters of hydrogen in there. That takes a while. I might have to set up more O2 gens, but the problem is that I maybe run then into trouble with filling them up. It could be that I then not get enough ice into the system. But we have done something that works remarkably well for now. And that is a lot easier to handle than this thing. I might have to remove this thing and we will keep using this thing. Maybe, don't know, we can copy this over, have 2 lines running, something like this. Now it would be nice if we would get back ice somehow. I don't know. We're on the North Pole. It should snow here we have weather in the game now that we could turn on, and maybe then we get, I don't know, we get some what is happening? Why it is, are the drills filled up now? No, they shouldn't. I have the, it could be change in the voxels or whatsoever. I'm getting more stone, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I don't care. Let us grab the stone if needed. So I will do one more run. Attached front, detached back. So this is the front, as far as I know. Front, attached front, trigger now, and then we will have that. Have that run its course. Nice. Works out fine. Works out really nice. I like it. Good. But I think that's all for today, people. I hope you liked this episode. Again, I've done some technical stuff that I have never done before. Again, other people have done it. I've never done it before. I try to do my own problem solving here and not relying on taking a look at anybody else's video. Yeah, if you like this episode, it would be greatly appreciated to see a like on it, because this took a while to figure out for me. Yeah, there's links in the description to everything else now in these times again. Yeah, maybe you want some more distraction from everything. I have to update some of the things. The mod collection, for example, I definitely need to upgrade that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. All that stuff. Hope to see you in the next video. See you guys.